then you got a first down. You're able to go on the ball. You're able to get them a couple carries there. But again, and so on 2nd and 12, I mean, you can run it there to try to get them another carry, but you're trying to get yourself a little bit back to make sure you're in a 3rd and manageable. Listen, we didn't coach well enough. We didn't play well enough, and that again.
It's obviously a big focus of yours, anything really, but you've lost turnover battle in every game. -6 now.
-6.
And, what goes into that, and also more specifically, Jalen's pocket presence, is that a concern, and how do you fix that?
No, strip sack fumbles like that Jalen's getting ready to throw. That's not that, when you look at those there's when the guy's coming from behind on you and gets the ball out. That's not Jalen. But Jalen gets credited for that. And so, again, I'll have to look at the tape and see what happens. But when again, this game is always going to come down to the details and fundamentals. Like, did you tackle well enough? Did you take care of the ball well enough? Did you come after the ball yourself well enough? Did you block well enough? And I just didn't think our details and fundamentals were up to our par, up to our standard. And again, when that happens, you got to look at yourself in the mirror first, and I'm at myself in the mirror first. Are we doing the right things at practice? Are we doing the right drills? Are we doing so? We'll do a deep dive into not only scheme this upcoming week, sitting at 2-2 at the bye, but we'll also look at how are we helping these guys become better fundamentally. Again, with drills, with what we do at practice, with how we watch the tape, everything will be dissected, trying to get a win off the bye.
A couple times Jalen mentioned that they didn't really know yet what the team's identity was. That's something that you're going to maybe figure out coming out of the bye. Do you know yet what this team's identity is?
I think it's early, and I think there's a lot of teams' stories unwritten right yet. I don't think, again, you have some base things that you think that you do well, but to say, we know what our identity is. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just I mean, we're going to figure out what we do well. We're going to try to continue to do that, see what we don't do well, try to get out of that, and then try to mesh some of the things that together.
I know you said the turnovers are a team, stat in terms of the fumble in the pocket. But are you working with Jalen maybe any differently during the week leading up to games? Because it has been a few weeks now where the turnovers are coming.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, all the guys are working their butts off as far as the turnover go. Again, we'll have to relook at ourselves as coaches to see if we're putting them in doing the right things with them, because we're not winning. At the end of the day, we're -6. So we all got to own that. We all got to put our name on that. So, we'll reevaluate that, and obviously I haven't done a good enough job of that to date, because we weren't last year. We weren't great at the turnover battle, and this year we're not. So we'll like I said, everything will be everything scheme, fundamentals will all be evaluated, because I said it last week. You can't. This is not sustainable when you don't win the turnover battle and you're down -6 on it. So everything will be evaluated.
The report suggested that Lane expected to play last night. Can you offer clarity as far as his situation?
Yeah. At the end of the day, he didn't pass protocol.
What was the defensive game plan?
Sorry?
What was the defensive game plan?
Just to make sure, again, tackle well, try to get them try to get after the quarterback. Listen, we didn't do a good enough job on that. But it's always going to start with fundamentals of how we get off blocks, how we defeat blocks, how we tackle. To tell you, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to say that here's what we were going to do on 3rd down, here's what we were going to do on P10. I'm not going to get into that. But we didn't play good enough either offensively or defensively. And we didn't coach well enough on either side. And when the shift of time of possession is what it was in that first half, we didn't do a good enough job on offense of giving our defense a rest with the 9 plays that we had early in the first 3 drives. So a lot contributed to that. Again, just that all starts with me.
Isaiah Rodgers said he was doing a veteran move to try and maybe get a flag on that punt return. How much, whenever you're working through fundamentals, do you have leeway for guys who have
anytime experience versus I mean, you guys still got to play by the rules of what you do. Again, we made a mistake there. Anytime you have a contact into them, they're gonna pick that flag up every single time. So a couple things went into that. again, we got to make sure that we're coaching it better. It wasn't if the guys make a mistake out there, we're going to look at ourselves first, and we'll get that cleaned up. But I mean, we got to make sure we're catching the punt and fair catching in the right time. And then Isaiah can't do what he did in that particular case. They'll be the first ones to tell you guys that.
Possession, do you think, obviously the defense was out there a lot more than the offense in the first half, but there were offensive players that cramped up. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you guys were prepared for the conditions?
Yeah, I mean, again, there was guys on both sides going down as far as the cramping, and with the heat. We did what we normally do as far as the heat games with our hydration throughout the week. I know this team's in good shape because they work their ass off to be in good shape with the way we practice, and then also the extra conditioning that they're doing in the weight room. That we knew that, I don't remember what, maybe it was in the broadcast meeting. We knew with a hot game like this, it was going to take everybody, all hands on deck, and we needed everybody. Again, it didn't work out, but we knew in this type of game there were going to be guys going in and out because of the heat, and it'd take a rotation by everybody to try to get the thing done. But obviously we didn't.
You spoke about the strip sack as like an isolated thing there, but if you think globally here, it's been a pattern in some of these scoring situations. How do you address that with Jalen?
Yeah, again, the only thing that you talk about there is, when you are moving in the pocket, as far as just the ball security, when you are moving in the pocket, to have two hands on the ball in the pocket. But when you're sitting here and you're about to throw it like this, and somebody come hit you from behind, there's really not. Again, you talk about the rhythm of the throw, things like that, trying to get it out in time. Guys have to win down the field when that happens. But yeah, it's hard. The quarterback again will get the sack if he's here like this, and the guy can. But it's hard to. There's many things that go into it, and I'm not saying it could be the call that we made. It could be the protection by a back or an offense lineman. It could be somebody didn't win down the field. It could be he held on to it too long. There's so many things that go into that, but he's going to get that credited to him. At the end of the day, it's a team game and it's on all of us, right? And to be -6, we all own that. All of us are responsible, starting with me as the head football coach. Again, that stat, it's because that -6 is on offense and defense. So if we're not taking the ball well enough, and we're not protecting it well enough, that look no further than me. But again, we'll look at every turnover that we have this upcoming week. We'll analyze it. We'll figure out more what's going on. We got a good idea, but we got to get better at that.
Last one, guys. Slow starts. What's the first thing that you want to dive into to get that problem?
Yeah, we've been starting slow on offense. Obviously they came down and scored right away today on defense. So I think it's been both sides, but we haven't scored on any of our opening drives. So we got to start faster on offense. And we'll like I said, we'll look into that. Sometimes, we've had different variations of how drives have started, but that'll be one of the first things we look at. How do we go down and go up 7-0, or how do we go down and go up 7-3 or whatever it is. We got to do a better job of starting fast, and I'll look at everything. I'll look at what we're calling, how we're playing. Anything we can do in practice to simulate it. I mean, that's what you look at if something's not going the way you want it to go, whether it's red zone, whether it's third down. You look as a coach of how can I simulate this. So, maybe it's something like that. Haven't had to do that yet, but everything will be on the table. All that matters is that these guys continue to get better, and that us as coaches get better. And that's all that matters. We're sitting at 2-2 going into our bye week, and all we can do is improve, and that's all we're going to try to do this upcoming week.